Mona Lisa. Let's try this. It will take some time and it looks ugly. Hey guys, welcome to Cybernatico. So basically in this video, I will talk about how to create an app in React using Vite and this OpenAI API service to generate image according to a query, user query. So we have to type some text here. Let's say Mona Lisa. Click generate the image, an image, this button, and this will generate the image according to our needs. Like this. Mona Lisa using AI, artificial intelligence. By the way, this looks ugly. The painting, I mean. So you can write your query here in the prompt. This will take a prompt, the number of images and the size. Then it will set the result in this state. So you will learn how to do all of these in the later part in the video. And by the way, you can create your own API here from Node.js using this. So I will leave the link to this service in the link in the description. Alright then, let's get forward and see how to build this awesome React app. So here I have a React app with Vite that I created just now. So let me clear the code a little bit in app.jsx. I mean from this. Remove all this junk. Remove class name. Let me remove this state of count. And this. Let's leave use state because we need it later. Also from the CSS, let me remove the black color. Okay, leave the black color. We will work on this. So let me explore this service first, OpenAI API service. We have documentation, overview, examples that you can explore. Let's first log in, or you can sign up if you want. So it will ask you the email address to create an account and all. So you can sign up. So let me just go back to OpenAI website. Okay, this one, image generation. Let me go to login and let me log in with my email account. Click continue. So in the process of logging in or registering, it will ask you, why do you want to use this API service? So you can choose that I want to create my own app. Only then you will get access. And that's how I got access to this OpenAI beta. We have text completion, code generation, completion, whatever. Image generation, fine tuning. So I don't know the rest of things. We will use image generation service here. Alright. So let me explore this. How to call this. So we can click this, click documentation. Then let's click libraries. Here we can install this in Node.js. So basically we have to install it using this command npm install OpenAI. Let's install. Wait a second. Okay, we don't need this $. Okay, let me remove. Now it will install and will be listed in package.json file. See this OpenAI. Fine. Let's also, okay, do nothing. Close it. Now we have to import these things here. Configuration and OpenAI. So this is a module like ES6 module. So we have to use import. So we can say import this, or just do from OpenAI. Inside we can have configuration, comma, OpenAI API, like this. So we have these two things imported here. Now we need to initialize a configuration variable called this configuration, where it will take our API key. So you can add your API key. So let me add my API key. create an API key from here, API reference, not from here. Let's say click this personal icon, view API keys, then just copy any API key from here. Let me delete this revoke key, or just, okay, we cannot copy, so just revoke the key, create a new secret key. We can just copy it and let me paste it in a env file. So in the source we can create just this .env. Here we can add OpenAI key. Let's say OpenAI key equals to the key itself. Now to access this, we can just do this. So just say console.log, let's say process.env. I think we need to restart the React app, but let's check without restarting that if we are getting it or not. In the console, let's open this. I think we are not getting it. Okay, let me restart the server. npm run dev. Okay, and I think we're not getting it still. Yeah, so I found a solution for this. That is, in the env file we have to use wheat and the key name, and this env should be outside the source folder. Before this we had it inside in src folder, so move it outside and then simply restart the server. You will get the key here of the wheat, and I think we don't need this backticks or template literal, so we can also remove this. Okay, now it's fine, we don't need to restart. Okay, so it is here, so let me just copy and replace this with this key. Now let's see what we have here next in the, okay, so let me go back to this image generation. Okay, we have this configuration. We were not here, we were there here. So let's see libraries. Okay, so we have imported this in React, this configuration with the API key. Now we have to use this. So we have to initialize one more variable called OpenAI, and this will contain this OpenAI OpenAI that we imported from OpenAI, and it takes a configuration that we created here with the API key. Basically, we're initializing our API, OpenAI API. It's hard to pronounce. OpenAI API. Fine. Now we have this response. So let's add this response here. So for this to work, we need to create a async function. So let's create it. So const, let's say get image, or let's say generate image. I think the spelling of generate is correct. Let me better look this on Google. I think it's correct. Yes, it's correct. Generate. Okay. So you have to use your own API key. Don't use my API key. Okay. So in the generate image function, make it a async function and just paste this thing. Await OpenAI dot create completion, but it's wrong. This is for something else. It's for like I think it's for completing some text that we showed you in the beginning. So instead we will use OpenAI dot create image this, and it will take not the model but the prompt and this things like n, which is number of images that we need to generate, and the size of the image, like the resolution. So we have this. If we call this function, it will return us something. So let's say this. So in this response, okay, in this not response, okay, we need to just get the data in the response. So we can say const res or response. Then we can simply console.log this res and all of these items. So just let me copy this and paste it here. res.data.data zeroth index.url. I'm in the first URL for this because we're generating only one image. So now let's call the function. But before that, okay, let me just create a button here. Button. And say generate an image. On this button, let's assign this function. So I can say on click generate image. We have this button that will be helpful to or help us to generate image. So let's also do one thing. Okay, let's not do that. Okay, so create or generate an image. Something is wrong. So open network tab. It's pending. It will take some time, like 10 seconds now. If you open the console, we will have this link here in the console. So if you open this link, it will open up in a new tab and you will see the image that's related to this prompt. Say this is a test and this. So it's scrambled. So instead of this, okay, one more thing. When you generate the image and then open manage account in your Dall-E API, it's November and you will see that my usage is this. So we get $18 credit to use the API for free. Then we have some charges. So if you see this Dall-E API usage, 7 p.m. Okay. So we have basically some usage here that we can track. If it is like if it is expired, you have to use or have to pay using your account. So fine. So we have done this. So now let's create a state here. And what the state will do is we have to get the prompt from the input. For that, let's create a state called const prompt and set prompt prompt. I missed p here. Prompt and set prompt. So use state. Let's say this is a string because yes, it's string. Now let me create one input. So we can say input here. We will have input, but we need to arrange them. So diff class name, let's say app main. Now come over to, let me close the env file. Come over to app.css. We will write the stylings here. So we can remove all of these. Just clear this. Okay, something is here that we need to leave. I think this class name. Yes, fine. The root class name. Now let's say we have app main here. Copy the class. Come here, over here, and say flex or display of flex. Then flex direction column. Now we'll have this input and button. Now let's style the input. So we can say class name. Let's say app input. Okay. Now in this, let's say app input. Let's say height 40px. 40 is too much. Let's try 30. Okay, 30 is fine. If we try 20, 20 is also fine. We can type anything in here. Fine. Now let's give it some margin around them or around it. So 20 pixels. Now we have this. Also let's add width of 200 pixels to make it big. Like this. We can type in here and fine. Let me zoom this and yes, this is perfect. Perfect. Let's give an h1 here, or yes, h1 here. Generate an image using OpenAI API. I think I am pronouncing this correct now. Yes, sir. It's too big, but better to make it an h3, not h1. To decrease the size. Okay, now the design is broken. So we can say justify content. Okay, this will not work because you know my previous video was all about this. Now it will work. See, see. Okay, okay. Now what we got to do is, so let me zoom this. Okay, we have this text. So let me set the prompt from this input. So we can say on change. On change. We can generate an event and then call this function set prompt and store this event dot target dot value inside this state using this function, not validation message value. Now this state, which is prompt, should have this, so we can replace this. So we can add this as well and this as well as the input field, or you can do that, fine, and generate your image. Now if you type something and click generate image, this will throw us a link here in the terminal or console. Yes, console. So okay, let me also add a placeholder here, that placeholder that says enter or type something to generate an image. Okay, 2 dots. I think we have to make the size a little bit bigger. So big, 400 too much, 300. Let's see, 300 is fine. Okay. Now we have replaced this as prompt state. Now it will work. So let's think of something. Let's say a man on a beach. Now click generate an image. It will take some time, so let's wait for this. Don't worry, I will add a loader or a text. So we have this image. Now click this link and we will have an image, a man on a beach, like this. So it's wonderful, isn't it? I think it is. It is wonderful. And so I think the usage of per API call or per request is $0.0. So we have $18. That's, I think, sufficient for testing this. Otherwise, if you can pay, then you can pay. So now what we have to do is, let's create an image tag here. img tag, image source something. Let's add alt something. Save this. But since we don't have the source of this, we will not see it here. So what we can do is create one more state. So let's say const result and set result equals to use state empty string, because image will be a link in text. So we can set it here, not in show in the console.log. So if you open the result or just mark the src as link as result, it will be here. When we type and generate the image, so it will, you will see that the result is this. So we can just use nullish, what is it called inside the curly bracket? It is called nullish coalition, I think. Let's add empty string. Or what we can do is we can say if result dot length is more than 0, only then show this else show an empty fragment. We can add it here. So then we don't need this. Now save. Now let's give it a try. So let's add something else. A man in a volcano this time, not a mountain or a beach. Volcano. Click generate image. Let's wait for it to generate. Okay, we don't need the console. And we'll get this massive image that we can make smaller. So we can say class name result image. Just copy this class and add it here. And we can say width 400 pixels. That will be fine, or 300. Okay, 300 is fine. Some top margin, so margin top 20 pixels. Fine. So we have this image to spin. Okay, that's all. I think I can make it 350. That's fine. Fine. If you click it again, this will generate a new image. So let's wait for it some time, and you will see. Now let's spin things, or just say Mona Lisa. Let's try this. It will take some time and it looks ugly. I mean, this thing or whatever it is looks ugly. So now let's type something really different. I think, let's say, let me think. Let's say a bird riding. Okay, not this. Let's say a horse riding a dinosaur. Now let's see what we get this in this result. So basically, this service OpenAI API generates image using AI. So whatever we type, okay, this is not a horse, it's a man. Let's say a camel riding a dinosaur. Yes, so basically it uses AI to mix images according to the prompt. So that's what it is. And I think it's a camel riding a dinosaur, but it's not a camel, it's still a human being. But that's fine. All right. So that's how we create a service or an app in React that can generate image using this new Dall-E API from OpenAI API service to generate image. So try this, learn this, create a React app and show it in your resume or portfolio. Thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe to my channel and like the video.